Hello and welcome to my channel. So we'll just fire up Fusion 360 and we dive straight in. This video is for new starts, so those of you who are used to using Fusion 360 probably won't want to see this video. So this is new, fresh starts for someone who's never used Fusion 360 before. You can use this program to make models, 3D objects, 2D objects, for 3D printers, CNC routers, CNC mills, and CNC lathes. You can also draw up all your CAD work for lasers. Okay, so this is the opening screen for Fusion 360, and there's a couple of things that I'd just like to show you what my preference is, and I find it easier to work with this program. I don't particularly like the grid on all the time, so initially I like to start with a blank canvas. Now you can turn this off and on just by going down here to this little grid and left click and turn it off. It will automatically reappear when you start drawing at the appropriate time. And the second thing you might want to do is come up here to the view cube. This is called a view cube. Is just go here and right click and choose perspective with auto faces. That's the two things that you probably need to do first. Now we'll just come over here to this drop down box here shows you all the available types of programs within Fusion 360. At the moment we're in model space, so this is where we'll spend most of our time. Sheet metal, rendering, animation, simulation, CAM, we'll be using that. We're going to start here, and we're going to start with a sketch. Everything starts with a sketch. So this is really your pencil, so I'll choose that, and so then the grid will pop up and you can choose a plane in which to actually draw on. At this stage it doesn't really matter. You can change that later on. To make life easier for me, I'm going to choose this one here. There we go. So it will now jump to a two-dimensional screen and grid. Now these are all in metric numbers. They're a bit of a guide, but I'll show you when we start drawing. I'll show you what we can do. So we're going to start with pull that down. This gives you all the different types of drawing tools that you can use, and we are going to go for a rectangle, just a simple 2-point rectangle, that one. I'm going to start here in the middle. Now I've got snap turned on, so it will snap to any intersection of these little lines. You'll see it's snapping to it. Okay, so I'd like to start in the middle here. So left click, draw it out. Now we're going to go 100 millimeters, and it will snap to 100 millimeters there. But even if it was less than that, say for example we said, we drew it there. Okay, so this isn't actually the size I want our piece of work. So what I'm going to do is highlight this particular one, this upright, right click, sketch dimension, draw it out. Now it gives me a measurement of 90, but I want it to be 100, so we can alter that to 100, press enter, and it will jump to 100. So then we can select this one, select that one, draw it out, and press enter, and that will, so now we have our square geometry. So there we have our square, our cube, or the size of our work. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn this flat 2D image or drawing into a 3D object. So we're going to now go to 3D space, and to do that we just go here to the extrude, label, and left click. So we choose a face, and now we want to extrude that out, let me see, 19 millimeters. So 19.0, and press enter. Now we want to now work on this face here. Well, first of all, I'll show you that what we have here, and we can go to the view cube and rotate it around. Do really whatever we want to with it, just to have a look. Okay, so we want to now take a pocket, or machine a pocket into this space here, which is the top, and represented by the Z here. See the Z? This is facing up on the view cube, facing up here, so that's the face we want. So now what we want to do, we want to draw on that, so we will bottom, front. There we go. So now we're looking at the front of it, and this is the front that we need to take some material out. So we're going to extrude. First of all, we're going to sketch again, and this time we want a circle, snap to the middle of the material, so there again we want 50 millimeter, so just make the circle there, and then so we want this one to be 50 millimeter. Press enter, and it's 50 millimeter. Okay, so then we want to now extrude that. And we want to extrude that down into the material. Now we want to extrude it down, so down this way, and we want to extrude it. We don't want to extrude it all the way through. I just want to go part the way in. So I think I just want to go minus, notice the minus figure there, so we're removing the material out. Minus 10 millimeters. Now you see that Fusion 360 has now altered. So you just press enter and it's done. And there's our pocket. It's as simple as that. That's the 3D drawing is now over. I mean, it's just a test piece. So now we're going to go to the cam. Okay, so what we're going to do is go straight into cam. Then what we want to do is create a new setup. Let's just zoom in here a bit. You'll notice here that there's a lighter grey shading. That's all around the top and the sides of our material. Now, what Fusion 360 has done is created excess stock material. Well, we need to turn that off because in this situation we don't need that. If you're starting with Fusion 360, you really don't need this extra material. So to remove that, what you need to do is go to the stock tab and come here to relative size box and turn that off to fixed size, and then that will give you the actual size of the material that is there, that we're actually working with. It just makes it simpler to work with for beginners. So that's our material, our stock, and there's our pocket. And it is in the right orientation as well, with the Y here and the X. Actually, the Y needs to be around the other side, around the back, but we're not going to worry about that at the moment. We just got the Z in the right orientation, X is in the right orientation, and the Y is relatively in the right orientation. You can also see here in this setup that the width, or X, is 100 millimeters, which is what we require, what we set it for. The Y is 100 millimeters, which is again correct, and the material height is 20 millimeters. And that's okay too. In actual fact, we can correct that and make this 19 millimeter, which is actually what our material is. Okay, so now we get right into the cam. So it's a 2D pocket, and we're going to choose a tool. Okay, so we're going to select a tool in the samples library. So built into the program is many different sizes of cutters. So I'm searching for a 1/4 inch mil, which is there. So we'll choose that one. 1/4 inch flat. There it is. So we're going to OK that. So within Fusion, it's already picked the speeds and the recommended feeds. I'm just checking through these to see whether I think they're going to be fine for the CNC router. So what we're going to do, we're going to speed things up. 11, 12, 12,000 RPM, 230. So they, you know, they'll recommend, this is actually for aluminium, but we're going to be machining into just timber. That's actually okay. Spindle speed, that's okay. And this is, you know, moving from ATCAM into Fusion, you know, you need to sort of change your thinking a bit, because in ATCAM it used to be millimeters per second, but of course now it's to actually get that figure to millimeters per second, you just divide by 60. I'll do that really quickly. That's 25.4 or 1 inch per second, which is absolutely fine. These figures are all okay, so I'm going to okay that. Okay, so when you're happy with your speed and feeds, press OK. Now, there's a good reason for pressing OK at this stage, because it has created the toolpath. So now we can go in and edit the toolpath. So you just hover over it and right click and press edit. Now I don't like this being machined in one cut, which is what's just been created. So we're going to go here to passes, and we're going to go down to, next one, step over. We're going to reduce that. So we're going to say 3 not 300, 3.0 millimeters for that. Okay, so we can have a look at some of the settings in here. Tolerance is 0.1 millimeter. This is fine. We're cutting into timber, so. So you can, at this point, you can alter climb milling or conventional milling. I normally use climb milling. Yeah, I just altered that one just now, but we want to go multiple passes. Maximum roughing. We want to go. We're going to do this in 2, I think. So we're going to alter that to 5 millimeter. The rest of this is okay, so we're going to OK. And it's recalculated that. So you'll see now the step over is a lot finer, and it should be 2 separate, yes it is, it's 2 separate cuts. So now we can simulate this. Okay, so let's simulate this now. So you go back to setup, come to simulate, and we'll press go. And that's that. So there you go. It's very, very simple to make a toolpath in Fusion 360. So now we will export that file. Okay, so the next thing to do is to post the code. It's very simply done, but you do have to set it up. So let me see. That's my account. milling. Now if you scroll down through, now these are all the different post processors or machines that they cater for, and in our case we'll be using Mark III mill. We'll write a comment in here so we can recognize exactly what it is. So it's test 2, and it's already set in millimeters, in units, and this is just really telling us what the program settings are. Everything looks okay there. That's another thing to look at too. So this is relatively important because it is standard G code for Mark III mill, and it's so it's G code tap. This is the normal standard type of G code, so you must make sure that these are in here if you're using Mark III. And really that's about it. So now we just post the code. And in our case, let's see, test 2, and I want it put on my desktop so I can get to it easily and save. So as we're actually doing this video, Fusion is updating itself on my computer. That's another good thing using Fusion. When something new comes in Fusion 360, it's automatically updated. So really, that's that. So you know, it's been saved, and we can now shut this down. There we go. And here is the code that we just wrote, ready to be uploaded into the CNC machine. Okay, so that's Fusion 360. It's a very simple job, and I hope I've made it simple for you to understand. We will be getting into more complex models and geometry as the months go on, and I'll show you how to make them in Fusion 360, how to set up the G-codes on the toolpaths in the CAM software, and also I'll be showing you on the machines, the different machines. In this case, CNC router 6040. I've also got a 6012, which is a much larger machine. I've also got a mini mill, which I converted myself. All the videos for the conversion are on here. It's a little SIG X2 converted to CNC. Also 3D printing and laser. So over the next year we will be looking at using Fusion 360 with all these different CNC machines. I should have showed you before, but this is the tool we selected. Okay, it's a little 1/4 inch 2-flute end mill. That's the one that's going to be doing the cut. So if you've liked this video, please subscribe, press like, and come and visit some of my other videos. So bye for now.